Yesterday's morning reflection, Ajahn Sek was recalling the story of Lumpa Ginari giving the then fairly young Ajahn Chah some instruction about just being with what he was doing in his robe sewing, rather than trying to rush through it and get onto the quote-unquote more important stuff of formal practice, sitting and walking meditation, talking about making whatever you're doing in this moment your contemplation. And it's a theme that keeps coming up. The Kruba Ajahns keep referring back to that staying with the present moment, all around awareness of what we're doing, the disposition of our bodies, and particularly as a way of watching the flow of the mind. Where is the mind flowing out to, rather than staying with what's happening right here and right now. Because that's where we get into trouble, when the mind starts to flow into all sorts of different places other than where we are right now, and it's usually directed by one of the forces of greed, hatred, or delusion in some way or another, is in control of the mechanism sending the attention out. So it's a good way to just catch and see what's the current state of our mind too. Lots of Ajahns have different similes or different ways of reflecting on this kind of present moment reflection, awareness. Ajahn Sucitto, I've often mentioned that I really like his description of how much of the time most of us operate like heads on wheels. We have just this head that's sitting on top of a set of wheels, constantly moving forward, the head leading us, moving us through, completely absorbed in thoughts and the future and the next thing to do, and we forget that there's a body below it, and that we can use that bodily awareness to ground us right here and now, rather than constantly moving on to the next thing, but without even being aware of what we're doing in the present. So we can see that when we move through the day, get up from the morning reflection, even going to clean the dishes, and the mind all of a sudden immediately picks up on the task to be done, the next task to be done, and the task after that, and the task after that, and how to organize. And it's this constant becoming energy, always looking to the next thing. So just to be aware of that and to slow down and ground oneself and remember that we've got the rest of our body below the head. And then it also a reflection that I heard many years ago when I was staying with Ajahn Kalyano in Australia for a period of time. I was there maybe 3 or 4 months, 3 months or so, in the early days of Buddha Bodhivana Monastery there. And he was just talking about different Ajahns and their qualities, and one of Ajahn Kalyano's descriptions of Ajahn Dan made a strong impression on me. And I noticed that too, because Ajahn Dan came soon for a visit after that Ajahn Kalyano made that comment, and he says that he's always appreciated and been impressed by Ajahn Dan's ability to both be very present for people and then also not to be moved by the external circumstances. And he would describe it as, Ajahn Dan would be sitting quietly and there would be some people around, and he would be clearly internal, that he wasn't going out anywhere into the external environment or even going out to the thoughts within his own head, that he was just very clear and present with whatever was happening and quiet. And then as soon as somebody would come in and ask him a question, all of a sudden he'd be very present for them. He would be just right there. You could see his attention was on what they were saying. It wasn't like he was ignoring them at all. And he was fully there. And then as soon as the conversation or the comments ended, he'd immediately pop back right into that central place in his being of just awareness. He had this ability to kind of move back and forth as needed, at will. And that always struck me. And then when I saw Ajahn Dan and he came to visit, I saw that quality, and it was quite moving. So just being able to stay and return, to go out when you need to attend to something important like another person, and then to move back. And then just Ajahn Dun's refrain that I picked up on again a few weeks ago and mentioned it a few times already, but it's just such a good reflection of his take on the Four Noble Truths, particularly the one being of the two steps of the mind going out is the cause of suffering, and the result of the mind going out is suffering, and that the mind that stays just with the mind is the path leading to the end of suffering, and the result of the mind staying just with the mind is the end of suffering. So those constant reminders from different sources, Kinari, Ajahn Dan, Ajahn Sucitto, Ajahn Dun, to just stay keep returning to that still place. There's that place of still awareness that's always there, and we just need to drop the obstructions that keep us from returning there. So I'll leave that for this morning's reflection.